Welcome to the Self-Awareness and Self-Compassion Podcast, formerly known as the Full Spectrum Feeling Podcast. I'm your host, Blaise Schwaller, life coach, mom, and former tattoo artist. I help people heal their past, speak their truth, and love the lives that they're living now. Join me here every week for conversations on how to live an imperfect but fully engaged life that embraces all the feels so that you can stretch into your best life while enjoying the you that's here right now. Welcome back to Full Spectrum Feeling. This is Blaise, and this week I want to continue on the theme where we were before, which was about living a good life and the life well lived. And this one is about the judgments that we have about ourselves and where we are in life. And it's all about the comparison monster and how we compare ourselves to everyone else that we can possibly think of that might have some relation to where we are, either because of their age, because of their profession, because of their location, like all of that stuff. Are they part of our family? Who else has something that we don't have? Actually, this harkens back to the talk we had about deprivation, right? And feeling like we're denied something or we're just not comparing favorably. I guess, oh man, we all want to be the winner. We want to be succeeding. We want to be doing better than anyone else. I'm wondering when it is that we get taught this, or if it's an actual, like, is it a human need? Do we need to compare? Like, we definitely have it built in our brain that we compare. That's what our mind does, is this is where I am and this is where I want to be and I'm not there. And this is where I am and this is where my friend is and they're doing better than me. Like we very rarely look around and think that we're doing the best. And when we are, I think there's also like this sense of monumental disappointment when we realize, like, my God, I am doing great and I still don't feel good. Wah, wah, wah. So let's get out all those feels about where we are in life, where we thought we were going to be in life, why we aren't there, and all of the reasons that we have for that, and all the things that we think are happening that have contributed to it, and the circumstances and the people and the terrible things that have just converged to make it impossible for us to be where we thought we would be. Because I think this is a thought that we have when we're disappointed. I don't think we spend a lot of time worrying about where we are in life when we feel like we are succeeding. I think it's something that comes up when we feel like we aren't succeeding. So something isn't happening for us. I guess that's where we start. Something is not happening. We're not making the money. We don't have the relationship. We're not living where we wanted to be. Maybe this is like the worst case scenario, right? We feel like we had something and then it got taken away and suddenly we're doing worse than we were yesterday, last week, last year. We find ourselves regressing back to a time where we had less money or we had more authority over us or we had to move back in with our family or whatever is going on. And rather than going, that happened, and that's just what's going on now, I know nobody who just rolls with it that way. Like, so few people are doing that without the judgment of like, what's wrong with me? Why has this happened? Dear God, everyone else must be thinking that I'm terrible because this has happened. And we do it again and again and again. So I just see all of us out there living our lives, beating the crap out of ourselves about how we're not as awesome as we wanted to appear to everyone else. Now, I think this gets compounded because we've got social media. It gets compounded because, I don't know, like even podcasts, right? Most of us are talking about like everything is awesome and this is how to be awesome. And I'm so awesome. And I don't know. I feel like in my podcast, I'm like, guess what? I'm just pretty average. I'm just living my life and I'm feeling all these things just like you. So I don't know if I'm an outlier or if I'm just, I don't know, either self-flagellating or I'm trying to be honest. I don't know what's going on there. But I think it's important that we hear that not everybody is out there living their best life. Dun, 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 dun. Like, oh God, that catchphrase. It's funny and it's appealing and it's annoying as fuck. I hate that. Like, get out there and live your best life. What the fuck does that mean? Like, we're all living our best life. We're trying our best to live. It is our best life. Fuck you. Let's not compare it to anything else. But at the same time, the sentiment is, let go of your worries and go do you, do what makes you happy and brings you joy. And then honestly, there's a lot of us, and there's moments that I feel this as well, where I'm like, I don't even know what would bring me joy, so it's annoying to have to contemplate that question. I just want to live in peace. What would bring me a modicum of joy is not judging myself about how I'm not striving right now, because I'm tired of striving. I think we don't talk enough about not striving and how it's okay to exist. There's been so much in the media in the last several months about people quiet quitting and quiet firing and all this other crap, which is essentially to say that people are not striving, right? We're not going to put ourselves out and try to super achieve to be compared to other people when honestly we're not being compensated for that. And it's tiring and it's exhausting, and we're all realizing that it's been a waste of our fucking time. So I kind of get it. Oh my goodness. And yet, we do have a desire to improve and to be better than we were before. It's part of being human, is that we do want to expand and grow, and we do feel sad when we feel like we're not getting better or improving in some way. And I think because we do have that desire to continue to learn, to continue to change, to continue to see progress, like that is a deep, innate need, I think, in our beingness, then we do compare where we were with where we are so that we can tell if we've done it or not, if we're actually meeting and fulfilling that need. It's just, it goes into beast mode when everything we see seems to be curated to show us how it's impossible for us to get there, or that someone else is doing it better. And I guess it highlights our insecurity. So if we're insecure at all about ourselves and the way that we're going about doing something, we can see someone else doing great, and instead of going like, oh, cool, they're doing great, and so am I, instead we look at it and go, oh, wow, they're doing great. Wait, was I supposed to be wearing clothes like that? Is that what I'm supposed to be wearing? Or like, oh, shoot, like they go out in the morning and I don't only do this like 10 minutes a day, but they're doing like 40. Am I not doing enough? And we start to wonder if we're doing our life wrong. And I want to tell you, like, I don't think you're doing your life wrong. I think whenever we're trying to just live and do us, do our thing, we are automatically on a track to keep getting better at whatever it is that we're doing repetitively. That's just a given. It's going to happen. Now we can commit ourselves to attempting to see more progress against ourselves. That's actually, I think, a better way to focus that comparison monster than to compare ourselves to outside people. Unless, of course, you are looking to master a skill, in which case, of course, you're going to look at people who have mastered that skill, and you're going to compare yourself to where they're at, and you're going to ask, how can I achieve some of those results? How can I do that thing? But once you've made the decision of how you're going to go forward and attempt to do it, I think that's where you're allowed to go, okay, I'm on my own journey now, and I am doing my best, and I'm asking for help when I need it, and this is the pace that I'm going, and I will get there. I'll get there. Because comparing yourself to other people and feeling bad about how they did it faster, or they did it first, or they did it better, or bigger, or louder, or they made more money than you, or they look better than you doing it, like, why do I have these wrinkles, like all of these stupid things, really, it doesn't make you feel any better. It certainly isn't motivating. If it is, it's in a painful way where it now becomes painful to go after the thing that you wanted instead of joyful and fun. I like living my life in curiosity. If I'm able to approach my job or a situation, an art project, parenting, anything, from a place of being curious how I can engage in a more present manner to improve, I don't know, any ability of mine to just like show up and do it. If I approach it that way, it's a lot less stressful. It's a lot more fun versus when I do it and go, what would so-and-so do? Am I doing it right? I wonder if someone's judging me for doing it and now I'm judging myself. Then I actually start to mess things up a lot more. It becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy of failure. Just comparison sucks. That's how I feel this week anyway. Comparing myself to other people makes me feel bad. I guess there's always the argument that it can be inspiring, like seeing what's possible and what's out there is good. And it definitely is. Like, I like being inspired just as much as the next person. And I think that isn't comparison. That is a whole different beast. I think when you look at what is possible out there that someone has done already, if you're able to look at that and go, oh, cool, that exists, that means it must exist for me too. I wonder how I'll get there. That is a different approach from, oh, I guess that exists, but it's not available for me because I don't have. And then we list all the gazillion things that we believe the other person had in order to get there. And it hurts our feelings and makes us sad and just stops us from, finding our own path, finding our own way there, or even getting the help to get started. Life is hard. But it's also pretty, miraculous, full of possibility, open. Like, we get to have our own experience. I guess that's where I want to lead us, is like we're actually capable, and we only ever really get to have our own experience. Like, here you are listening to this podcast, and for you, someone recorded it and put it out there and you get to listen to it, and it's something that you can do. For me, I'm here figuring out when in my day I'm going to record it and how am I going to put it together. Do I have anything worth talking about? Why are you even listening to me? All of my own insecurities, right? Comparing myself to other people and what they do. One of my strategies that has allowed me to actually record this many and get them out here is to release myself from worry about whether they're excellent or not. Release myself from having to consume other people's podcasts necessarily in the same genre as myself, with the understanding that that may in fact hold me back. And for me, that's okay, because I know that if I fall into the rabbit hole personally of consumption of other people's creativity, I tend to not do it myself. Like, I'm not going to find inspiration there. Instead, I'll find reasons not to make my own, or to judge myself and not just go forward. And I found one of the ways that I'm able to accomplish more personally in my life and hopefully make a bigger impact, which is important to me, and, just feel like I'm making progress in my life, is to stop doing the things that make me feel bad or make me get into comparison, that make me think, oh, there's so much more that I have to do first. That's it. That's what happens. If I compare myself to other people, I think, oh, I need to follow exactly their footsteps. I need to somehow get this right. I probably need to hire a whole production team and clean it up and whatever, as though that's going to make it better. When actually, for me, personally, done is better than perfect. And I will always stand by that and go, you know what? It may not be the greatest, but I managed to get a start. And it's the same with art. When I psych myself out over doing something, I'll be like, you know what? You're just enjoying doing it. It doesn't need to be a masterpiece. Most things aren't. It's okay if it's not. If you do enough paintings, one of them will be a masterpiece and it'll be great. It's the same with sales. If you do enough of them, someone will be a yes and it'll be okay. It's the same thing with cleaning my house. If you try enough, something will get clean. It's going to be okay. So I dabble. I'm a dabbler. That's what I do. And I enjoy it. And I try not to compare myself to other people so much anymore. And when I do, I just notice that I'm doing that and go, how interesting that someone else is having a different experience. That's pretty cool. I wonder if that's possible for me. Or if I'm feeling particularly gloating, I'm like, I'm doing so great. Which I think is what we all really want to have happen when we compare. Is go, it's amazing, I'm doing amazing. But you can do that for yourself without even bringing other people into the mix. You can wake up one day and just decide, I'm doing amazing. Try it out. It's awesome. Friends, I hope that at the end of this podcast, when it is over, you take a moment of silence in the world, just be present for your soul and say, oh my God, I'm doing amazing. I'm doing amazing. I'm doing amazing at my life. No one else can fucking do it as amazing as me. I'm a badass. I'm awesome. And ride on that feeling for the whole rest of your day. You're doing amazing. Sending you so much love, and I'll see you next week. Thanks so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and share it with someone you love, and leave us a review. You can learn more and get some self-compassion tips and tricks by visiting coachwithblaze.com, where you can sign up to get my free booklet on overcoming anxiety, overwhelm, exhaustion, and burnout. I'm sending you so much appreciation and love, and I'll see you next time.